So Passover starts tonight, and that makes me think of two things. The first is the movie Prince of Egypt, made by DreamWorks. It's an amazing movie. The soundtrack is phenomenal, the animation is just beautiful, and it's a really good adaptation of the story. And I've gotten into the tradition of watching this movie every year during Passover, and I never regret it. It's amazing. So watch it. Watch it sometime in the next week. And then the second thing that Passover makes me think about is my attempts at reading the Bible. So in elementary school, I became quite the bookworm. I would borrow books from the school library so often that I had the ID number on my library card memorized. So one Sunday, somewhere around 4th or 5th grade I think, they took all of the kids in my year, they brought us all into the big chapel with all of the adults, and my church had this big ceremony of giving us each our very own Bible. And I still have mine today. It's great. It's contemporary English version, which means that I can actually read it and understand it really easily. But anyway, 4th grade me gets this book, so I think, well, it looks pretty big, but I've got to start sometime, and I literally just start at the beginning of Genesis. And I think I got through the first 5 books before I gave up. Because it was not what I expected at all. I was hoping to get like some sort of advice on like how to live my life, but instead it was all just these weird stories. And then some of the books didn't even have interesting stories in them. Like really, try getting through Numbers. It's difficult. And like Leviticus and Deuteronomy were weird. Why are there all these rules in here that like obviously no one is abiding by anymore? And then like a bunch of stuff in Genesis definitely seemed made up. Like I was only in 4th grade, but I already kind of knew a little bit about the universe to know that this didn't really make any sense. But Exodus, I loved Exodus, and I still do. It's just a good story. I think that it's what religious myths are supposed to be. But when the books became less and less interesting, I just kind of stopped reading. Until I got confirmed. Yes, I didn't start reading my Bible again until after I got confirmed. Confirmation is this whole process where we like study the Bible and we figure out whether or not we actually want to be Christians, and then there's this big ceremony where we all say, yes, I want to be a Christian, and I did all of that. But at the time I wasn't really thinking deeply about it. I was kind of just having this base level understanding. I think I just saw it as another class that I needed to pass. But after I got confirmed, I thought, what did I get myself into? So now I'm in 10th grade, and I'm a much better reader than I was in 4th grade, so I think, alright, let's just try to do this cover to cover. And I did it! I started at Genesis again, and I read the entire Bible, cover to cover, and when I got to the end, I thought to myself, I don't think I want to be a Christian anymore. Because a lot of stories in the Bible are great, and I can really draw wisdom from them, and they can inform how I live, but I just couldn't bring myself to believe that all of these stories were actually true. And like that kind of seems like a major point of Christianity, is believing that the stories are true. But regardless, reading the Bible was a really important experience that I had in my life, and I'm glad that I did it. And I want to do it again if and when I have the time. But when I read it again, I want to make sure that my reading is even deeper this time, that I really understand the origin of all of those words. And I did a little bit of that in high school. I'll put a link in the description to a couple videos that I find really interesting. I don't know, I think it's just important to study these things, because religion plays such a huge part in so many people's lives. It must be important. And that means that I should try my best to understand it, even if I don't necessarily subscribe to all of their beliefs. Because I think that whether they're true or not, stories can inform how we live our lives, and they can teach us things. Anywho, that's all I've got for today. And I will see you tomorrow.